Hello, I'm Mariano Manzano II, and I decided to focus my research around the Mediterranean diet. To be more specific, I wanted to find out how it affects an individual's body mass index / weight and total cholesterol levels. For those that don't know what the Mediterranean diet is, it is best described as a diet based on the dietary patterns displayed in countries neighboring the Mediterranean Sea, such as Greece and southern Italy. It's more of a lifestyle than a diet. The use of olive oil, choosing plant-based products, and the minimal use of saturated and trans fat are the most important patterns of this diet. That being said, my research question is, how does implementing a Mediterranean diet into the lives of adults aged 20 to 65 with a BMI of 25 to 35 affect their body weight, BMI, and total cholesterol levels? With adults ages 20 to 65 with a BMI of 25 to 35 as my main population, the Mediterranean diet being my intervention, while the comparison to my intervention being not partaking into a Mediterranean diet, and an increase or decrease of BMI, weight, and total cholesterol levels as my outcome. I then went to hypothesize that people/patients will see a difference in their BMI, body weight, and total cholesterol levels due to how the diet is structured regarding the kinds of fats being consumed. While reading through the articles, these are the most important points of information found. This fourth point will be further discussed in the conclusion, so let us focus on the first three. Majority of results showed a decrease in all hypothesized parameters. Now I say majority because two of the articles showed no changes in the parameters or an increase instead of a decrease in the parameters. This leads to the next point, where two, total cholesterol, weight, and BMI reduction were observed in the interventional studies. Now, one of the articles was purely an observational study, meaning they had no intervention with the participants at all. It was just watching their eating habits. It was a cohort study observing the eating habits of women and how much it adhered to a Mediterranean diet. So how close were their already eating habits, and how close was it to how the people neighboring the Mediterranean Sea would eat, right? And they all were given a score. Depending on the score was depending on your score was how much their eating habit adhered to the Mediterranean diet. After the observation was completed, results showed that the adherence to the diet had no correlation to weight loss or BMI reduction. Also, total cholesterol levels were not discussed with too much detail either. Now, with our third point, we can discuss some numbers. The magnitude of the reduction of each parameter varied between the studies. Loss in weight ranged from 0.7 to 9.12 kilograms, a reduction in BMI ranging from 0.67 to 3.5 kilograms over meter squared, and a total cholesterol reduction ranging from 3 to 27.8 milligrams over deciliters between the four studies that showed positive results. It is also important to note that the participants said that information about the intake of different nuts, spreads, dressings, and oils was very helpful. And I note this because many of those food products are where we get our lipids from. That's where we get our fat intake from. So it was important to note. To conclude, the literature review supports that the Mediterranean diet is an effective way to lose weight, which will also effectively decrease your BMI and reduce total cholesterol levels in the body. For some future research possibilities, we can take a look back at the fourth point in the research findings. It would be advantageous to delve into how gene expression, physical activity, and location of our participants could affect the adherence of the Mediterranean diet. And by location, I mean purely if they have access to the foods that are needed to adhere to this diet. If it is found that these factors can boost the effectiveness of the diet, then it is what should be recommended to patients that are looking to incorporate this diet into their lifestyle. The parameters that were focused in this research were very basic, right? BMI, weight, total cholesterol, numbers you can see if you just skim through the articles. Research on if the Mediterranean diet could affect other health issues would be helpful too, right? Things that are not so easy to see. Research is already being developed on if the Mediterranean diet has a positive effect on cardiovascular risks, but we can branch out from that, farther from it, hitting issues like diabetes or maybe even cancer. And if we look into these things, it'd be, again, very advantageous. That concludes this presentation. I hope you folks have a great morning, day, or night.